Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing well. Tonight we're going to be hanging out for a couple of hours doing my weekly Vera After Dark discussion stream. And there's a lot to talk about tonight. I'm going to be honest. I was looking at topics. I was kind of like, picking a couple. Usually I have like 5 topics, four to 5. And I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have like 8 topics here. I don't know if we're going to be able to get through all of them. Some of them will be videos tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week, since a lot of them are topics that I think are pretty important. But tonight, we're going to be talking about AMC and how AMC is entering the anime game because they are purchasing Sentai Filmworks, and of course with that comes High Dive. I've talked about High Dive a lot, mainly because on High Dive they've basically taken the approach of we are a way to get content to people, and we put whatever content we want on our service. People have diverse interests, and I've really supported High Dive, but this is a little bit worrying to hear. If you guys do not know, AMC Networks owns Shudder, and Shudder originals are all super freaking woke. We're going to be talking about Disney and Marvel, kind of a dual topic. The first part of the topic is Bob Chapek touting the company's unique ability to impact culture, even though that included the promotion of racism and disordered behavior. And there are a lot of rumors circulating about Miss Marvel, Marvel's new show that they're supposed to be doing at some point, because apparently the series is undergoing extensive reshoots. Even though the show, from what I understand, has been done since like 2019 or the beginning of 2020. Like, most of the content's been filmed, but apparently they're going back and reshooting a bunch of it. We're going to be talking quickly about Take-Two. Guys, we thought that Bethesda was a large purchase, right? We thought, like, when Microsoft purchased Bethesda, that was like the largest acquisition in gaming. Take-Two literally gave them the finger, because Take-Two has bought Zynga, the creators of Farmville, for almost $13 billion fucking dollars. I don't know what I don't know what devil they sold their souls to get this much money, and to think that this was a good idea. But Take-Two's done it. They're buying the Farmville creators for almost $13 billion. More than Star Wars, more than Marvel, more than Bethesda. Farmville, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about Ready or Not. If you guys did not see this, a hit piece came out a couple of days ago on Ready or Not. It's a new first-person shooter game. It's a spiritual successor to SWAT 4. And journalists decided to put out hit pieces saying things like playing the game made them feel very uncomfortable, and there were assets being used in the game that made them feel uncomfortable, and now the developers are bending over backwards trying to please game journalists who probably didn't even care about their game. And they are now, in the development process, they're going to be changing specific things that people have been complaining about. I want to talk about the 355. This is something I'll probably do a video on. But the 355 is a new all-female, ultra-progressive spy film that came out over the weekend. And it has completely bombed in theaters. It is not doing good at all whatsoever, which really isn't that surprising for 2 major reasons. Number 1 being the content that's in it. People love watching females kick ass. Do not get me wrong. I love watching females kick ass in movies. But clearly there was a specific line of messaging they were going with this. And another giant reason is that they didn't do any marketing for this film. I had heard about it like 2 weeks ago, and I saw you guys mentioning it in chat. I had heard about it like 2 weeks ago, like once. And I was like, this is coming out. I didn't even know about this. But apparently the tiny bit of marketing they did, if they even really did any, didn't help. And now it is sitting at of 25% on Rotten Tomatoes for the critic score. And suspiciously, the all audience score is at 70% and it hasn't moved in days. Seems a little suspicious to me. It's sitting at a 70%. And I had seen this topic on like Sunday. I was looking at the ratings and I was like, "Oh, okay. 70%. It's not bad. I'll give it a couple more days." It's still at 70% almost 4 days later. And another topic I'll probably do a video on that I wanted to quickly bring up to you guys. I don't know if you've all heard about the situation going on, but the Witcher showrunner, Lauren Hisrich, has been blowing up at people on social media that simply do not like The Witcher Season 2, that are angry that they changed a lot about Season 2, and she's completely blowing up at people. The Quartering, Critical Drinker, lots of different people. Oh, that's not the same, but that's another fucking topic. Saying things like, "I'm the strong, independent woman you're looking to blame your sadness on." It's pretty fucking bad when you have showrunners for massive companies that cannot cope with the fact that people do not like their content, so they go on social media and just attack people who are being critical of their product. I'll never understand it. It makes you look 10 times worse than you already did in the first place. But those are the topics we're going to be discussing tonight. Welcome, everyone. I hope your evening is going well. We'll get started in a minute or two with the topics. I think we're going to start with Disney. It's kind of a dual topic. 2 different articles at once to read. But yeah. I saw maybe one YouTube ad for it. I think that I saw, yeah, like a YouTube ad or like a Twitch ad, or I saw an ad on some platform. I don't remember what it was for the 355, and that's literally all I saw. And like I like watching movies with strong women kicking ass. I like femme fatales. I like these types of movies. Like hearing about the 355, the basic, story, the outline for it doesn't really sound that bad in my opinion. But apparently it's just not that good. Apparently, shocker, who could have seen that one coming? Who could have seen that? An all-female movie being woke in 2022? No, you don't say. That can't happen. That can't happen, guys. Absolutely hilarious situation, though. So we'll definitely be talking about that. Yeah, I don't remember where I saw the ads for 355, but it doesn't matter, I guess, because I wouldn't see it in theaters. That's not something that I would that I'd support in theaters. There's very few movies that I will go and see. Mainly because I'm going to be honest, most movies aren't worth a $20 ticket. Unless it looked really good, the story sounded good, like it has to be very specific situations for me to go and see movies in theaters. And I feel like something like the 355 would have benefited for... I think that it would have benefited if it went on an actual streaming service. I don't think having a film like that going directly to the theaters is kind of valid in 2022. They want to use the excuse that no one's going to the theaters, so that's why movies are failing, even though things like Spider-Man are doing absolutely fucking phenomenal because people are still going to the theaters to see movies. I don't know. But yeah. I have a hatred of Bob Chapek as a Disney CEO. He isn't doing a lot to help the company. Oh, I 100% agree. I think that with Disney, they've kind of gotten to the point where they're not having one person really do the speaking anymore. I don't know if you guys have noticed kind of the shift, but over the past couple years, probably from like 2015 to 2020 maybe, we mainly saw like one or two people kind of do the marketing for Disney, kind of talk about the plans for the future. And now they don't really have only one person doing that. It's a mixture of people. But I think that that's in part just because they know how people... I think that it's because they know how people on social media are. And not that that's a bad thing, but I think that they realize that if they have more people to make statements, and more people do make statements for their companies, they just... yeah. They just think that it's better, because then people can't dig up dirt on one specific person and just constantly bring it back up. Which I think is pretty fucking funny. In the age of social media, the way that companies have to present their products and present themselves is very different. Even though they try to act like it's not different and like nothing's changed, shit has changed. Spider-Man No Way Home, I feel successful because it wasn't a bunch of cameos. I do agree. I felt like at first, like a couple months ago when we heard about the villains showing up and the rumors about the heroes showing up, that I kind of felt like Spider-Man No Way Home was gonna be like more of a cash grab, like, oh, here's like 3 cameos of these villains that you guys really used to like. But it wasn't. They were a big part of the whole movie from the time that they, you know, appeared in the movie to the very end. It wasn't just like, oh, we threw these named characters in here so that people would kind of get off our backs. It actually felt with No Way Home that they wanted to actually try to make a movie that people wanted to watch. And I feel like we haven't seen that in a couple of years from Marvel. Even though it wasn't just Marvel, I mean, it was Marvel and Sony, so I think that that's also kind of fucking counts. Apparently the PS4 version of Horizon Forbidden West leaked. It's a rumor, so it could be false. Interesting. I haven't seen it. Yeah, it has leaked weeks before release. Also, guys, I still need to pre-order games. I don't have any games pre-ordered right now. I don't have Elden Ring pre-ordered, Horizon pre-ordered, Stalker 2 pre-ordered. I have them on the Amazon wish list, but I should probably fucking buy them. An early build has leaked into the public domain. Images of what was claimed to be the PS4 version leaked online. The media was eventually removed hours later due to a report from a copyright holder. That right there, yeah, that right there, whenever I see that, I 100% believe the leaks. If a company is copyright striking content down, I 100% believe that it's real. Because if it wasn't real, and it was just like fan-created images, or fake images, why would they copyright strike it down? But yeah, because it was struck down, I believe it. Yeah, I haven't pre-ordered any games yet, guys. I wait till usually the last minute. Never pre-order. Well, the thing is that I'm not just pre-ordering them to play. I'm not just a consumer. I'm also someone who's streaming them. I have Elden Ring I need. Horizon, Forbidden West. Final Fantasy. That comes out in March. Stranger of Paradise. All the games. So little time. But yeah, we'll get started in 1 second. I think we're going to start out with the Disney/Marvel topics. Is the new Horizon game going to be in VR? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't... As far as I know, no. I haven't heard anything about it being some kind of VR game. I mean, I don't think that would necessarily be terrible. My thing with VR is that VR is a cool concept, don't get me wrong, but most of the time it turns out to be shit. Haven't y'all learned these past few years? Again, I pre-order games because I'm not just playing them as a consumer. I'm streaming them so that other people potentially don't have to play them themselves or don't have to buy them, and I can give people kind of my opinions. Shame on you, Elden Ring's a must. Yeah, I do need to pick it up. I haven't yet. I'm still debating on Elden Ring PC or PlayStation 5. I'm leaning towards PC at this point. I pre-ordered Cyberpunk. Yeah, Cyberpunk was a fucking failure. It's a fucking failure. Cyberpunk, that shit went nowhere. Nowhere. That's, I mean, it's a year later. It's a year and a month later. You'd think that they would have added new content, done something better with it. But that didn't turn out very well. Oh well. I pre-ordered Arkham Knight on PC. The game was so scuffed. Yeah, Arkham Knight was fucking terrible when it launched. I mean, now they've fixed it, and now it's a pretty good game. I mean, you could kind of say the same thing about Cyberpunk, though. Like, they did fix it. They did fix a lot of the problems. But they didn't add any more content, and it's still broken. We got cyber-fucked on that game. Okay, guys, let's start the first topic of the evening. Disney, Disney, Disney. As you guys know, I talk a lot about Disney and Marvel, and there's kind of two topics that I want to talk about with Disney and Marvel. The first one being our favorite guy, Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek is someone that I do not like. I'm just gonna keep it a stack with you guys. I do not fucking like Bob Chapek. I think that he is not good for the company. He seems like a stuck-up asshole. Hashtag never getting sponsored by Disney or Marvel. But he decided, while laying out their plans for 2022, to make some interesting statements talking about the company's unique ability to impact culture. Last year, that impact included the promotion of racism and disordered behavior. So Disney CEO Bob Chapek touted the company's unique ability to impact culture as he laid out his plans and priorities for the company for 2022. Absolutely no surprise to hear that their plans and their priorities for 2022 are things like diversity and inclusivity. Which one is Bob, left or right? The right, but honestly, the left one's the chairman. I wonder if they're all short. I don't know. Can Google tell us? In a memo sent to Disney employees obtained by Deadline, Chapek thanks Disney employees for their talent, dedication, and optimism during the most disruptive time in our company's history. Thanks to you, we are weathering the pandemic and emerging stronger than ever. Well, I'm gonna be honest, guys. If they really care about their employees and they really want to thank their employees, why not throw them a fat bonus? We're talking about fucking Disney here. You guys can shell out some money. I know that you can. He continued, over the last 2 years, we continued to tell the world's best stories, reorganized and accelerated our transformation to better serve audiences and guests. And we looked inward during a time of social disruption, saw how much was left to do, and made significant change. You might have made significant change here, Bobby, but that doesn't mean that it was positive change. He then laid out the 3 steps he believes will set the stage for our second century and ensure Disney's next 100 years are as successful as our first. Creating good content should be number 1 on that list. But no, on their list, I'm sure number 1 is diversity. Diversity is good, guys. I talk about it all the time. Things like diversity and inclusivity are good, but when that's all that you've got going for you, it looks very fucking hollow. It doesn't look positive. It looks like we need to make money. How can we do that? Let's just force our movies down more throats, and let's just try to look better. This time around, it's just diversity and inclusivity. Those 3 pillars are storytelling excellence, innovation, and relentless focus on our audience. Have they ever done any of that? Storytelling excellence when they're coming out with fucking movies like Captain Marvel. With storytelling excellence. I don't think I'd call it excellence, but okay. He says what makes Disney so unique is that the stories we tell mean something to people. They inspire, give hope, bring us together, illuminate the world around us, and create memories. Pretty fucking bad memories, let me tell you. Give hope? Give hope that what? You guys are gonna go out of business so we don't have to watch your shitty movies anymore? This has not been the case in recent years, as Disney products have divided people more than ever, especially with their bigger IPs like Star Wars and Marvel Entertainment. It's so true, though. We're not talking about a company that has an almost flawless track record. We're talking about a company that has fucking properties like Star Wars, which has been super fucking divisive, and Marvel Entertainment. They're coming out with goddamn movies like Black Widow, Eternals, and Captain Marvel. We're not talking about movies that are like feel-good movies that make people really excited to see films with their families and like go buy $25 worth of popcorn and drinks. We're talking about movies that are dividing people. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that it's all their fault, because obviously if audiences don't like something, then they just don't like something. But a lot of the time it has been their fault because they're trying to make divisive stories. They're trying to make stories that are actually causing, you know, disruption and problems between people. We're not just talking about a company that, like, made one product that people don't like here. I can't compute. They're too fucking funny. It says Star Wars The Last Jedi solidified a rift in the fan base when Rian Johnson decided to lampoon critics of the film, not to mention how the entire film destroyed multiple characters and radically altered fundamental aspects of the Force. And then, of course, they doubled down on that rift by firing Gina Carano from The Mandalorian. It says, with Marvel, the company uses Hispanic racial slurs to promote their characters in order to push social engineering and pillage an entire language. It says they've also admitted to making decisions about characters and their stories purely based on their identity, such as the case of Doctor Strange being cut from WandaVision because he was white and male. That definitely, guys, sounds like they're really focused on creating good stories, huh? That's 2021, 2020, and 2022 in a fucking nutshell. That's all they care about is, are you white and are you a man? Fuck you! That's all they care about. Despite the evidence to the contrary, he continued, that is Disney magic. And we must continue to set the creative bar higher and higher. Oh yeah, guys, Eternals. Woo! Eternals really set that bar high. Not as high as Bob Chapek, though. He's too short. And in addition to all the other creative meetings, I am establishing a new standing monthly meeting with our senior creative leaders to discuss the opportunities we face as a storytelling enterprise. Whew, wow, guys. A new monthly meeting with senior creative leaders. Wow. They are trying to make good content for us, guys. Go on social media and shit on people for not simply liking a movie. They can do that for sure. But they're also doing monthly meetings. Wow, that's an A+ from me. This will encourage collaboration, sharing of best practices, and stimulate cross-studio ideation. I can't wait to see that Captain Marvel, Rey Skywalker crossover. That's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be really sweet. For the second pillar, innovation. Yo, we've seen some innovation from them, guys. It's totally hasn't been the same stories over and over and over and over. No. It's not like they're live actioning half of their movies because they literally can't create new good content. Since Steamboat Willie, we have been the world's foremost innovative storytellers. That must continue as technology evolves, giving our creative teams new canvases like the metaverse on which to paint. Oh, Jesus Christ. We should be especially innovative as we seek to bring stories to life in new ways, particularly if they enhance what many call our franchise ecosystem, which is one of the things that sets us apart. I have not seen innovation from Disney in like 10 years. I'm just going to be honest. And then he said, we are a big company with many stakeholders, all of whom have a place in our decision making. Yeah, that's, I don't know. On one hand, I get why they're saying it. Because they're trying to get more stakeholders. But, listen, should stakeholders should have a decision in the content they're creating? Guys, I'm going to need everyone here to donate me $1 so I can buy a stake in Disney. 0.00000000001%, but it doesn't matter because they have to listen to me. But at the end of the day, our most important guide, our North Star, is the consumer. Sure, buddy. Oh, yeah. As a consumer, I'm really feeling the love. I'm really feeling the listening here. Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs? Thank you, Daniel Maloney, for the 4 months as a Dark Titan. Much appreciated. These people are hypocrites. They need to stop creating woke content that doesn't sell. I 100% agree. You guys know Disney's track record. They've been creating shit for months and months and years, and that's not going to change anytime soon. But I thought it was pretty funny how, of course, Bob Chapek is talking about their unique ability to impact culture, and how their pillars are like innovation and communication, when clearly it's not. So yeah. Next we're going to move into another Marvel discussion. It's going to be a relatively quick one, but I still wanted to talk about it quickly. It's about Miss Marvel, because apparently Miss Marvel is facing some major reshoots right now. Even though the series has supposedly been done for like 2 years. North Star, I think they meant Death Star. That's the comment of the night right there. That's the comment. I don't think that one's gonna get topped. It's true, though. It really fucking is. I like Disney better when they snuck wieners and bad words into their background. I agree. I'm gonna be honest. Like, that was fucking peak Disney. Was when you have the fucking adult jokes. Can't have that, though. I mean, I get it on one hand. What parents want their kids, like, consuming that type of entertainment, but on the other hand, do I give a fuck? No. We know that a lot of Disney content isn't really made for kids. A lot of it is made for adults. It's like the misconception about SpongeBob, how people thought that SpongeBob was made for kids when it was really made for adults. It's like, you don't really care about what your kids are watching, let's be honest. Most of the content that comes out for kids is absolute garbage in the modern worlds. Most of it's absolute trash. Oh, He-Man. We're not talking about Kevin Smith He-Man. That was an abomination. That was fucking terrible. I can't believe that they decided to go with that. Like, some of it wasn't, I don't know, like, some of it wasn't the worst. I think it's just kind of the best way to say it. But most of it was just pure and utter garbage. Tom Cruise possibly being Tony Stark. I don't think so. I don't think that I would believe that, because Tom Cruise will want as much money as Robert Downey Jr. And they didn't even want to keep him. I think that people would be so pissed if they ever tried to do that. I think people would be livid. But now that we're playing with the multiverse, maybe we'll see the return of him. I don't know. Kevin Smith's He-Man was absolutely terrible, though. But guys, the second half of the Marvel discussion is about Miss Marvel. Now, I personally haven't had much interest in Miss Marvel, primarily because we know that it's going to be a series that's going to push certain narratives and certain agendas. 2022 is the year of no bullshit for me. So, consuming content like this isn't really on my list. We all know that's a lie. But we heard that Miss Marvel has been done filming since, like, end of 2019, beginning of 2020. And for months, we haven't heard anything new about the project. For almost a year and a half now, we really haven't heard any information. But apparently, the series is undergoing extensive reshoots. Do we know why? Not particularly. Is it surprising to hear? Not particularly. It says, much of Marvel's Phase 4 has been a massive success. Kevin Feige has ushered in a new era for Marvel Studios post-Infinity War and Endgame, and the MCU has reached new heights in television with WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, and Hawkeye. Even though a lot of this content I didn't like, it is true that some of the numbers are pretty good. Like, the Loki numbers were pretty good. The WandaVision numbers were good. Falcon and Winter Soldier, the numbers started strong, and then they kind of faded and fizzled off. But some of the numbers weren't terrible. It says, but Marvel fans have had nothing but issues with the next original series coming to Disney Plus, Miss Marvel. I could give an actual fuck less about this series. When it comes out, will I watch it? I'll probably try to give it a try. I'm a nice person who tries to be open-minded. Right, guys? You believe it? Good. As long as you kind of believe it, that's what matters. Jesus Christ! Band. Who is it?
Stephen Kraft donated $5.
That hurt my ears so much.
Vara -$5 towards her. Buy a share of Disney stock so Vara can harass Bob Chapek.
So I can harass... We can't use that type of wording. Harass. No. More like question as a caring citizen. That's the wording. More... Vera has to question, as a concerned citizen, Bob Chapek about the future of a company she cares about. The word harass, I would never, not me. Thank you for the $5 donation, though. Much appreciated. Thank you. It says, though, the series will star newcomer Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel. Put a 1 in chat if you give a fuck. Put a 2 if you don't. A new rumor surrounding the Trouble production comes from Miss Marvel News on Twitter, who reported that the series will begin reshoots later this month, saying, according to Atlanta Filming, Miss Marvel reshoots have begun, or they have not begun yet, but will start in a week or two. This is very interesting to hear about, actually, because this is a series that they are supposedly going to be kind of banking on. They're hoping that this series is going to do really, really well. They're hoping that it's going to be kind of a pillar in their show lineup. And apparently it's undergoing reshoots. Vigorously interrogate. Interrogate's also a little bit of a questionable word. Maybe we get something a little bit softer for wording. It says this comes off the heels of a recent announcement that the Miss Marvel series has been delayed for a second time. It's better than fucking Morbius. Did you guys hear it was delayed for its 7th time? I can't. I can't. It says, though, it was initially scheduled to come out before Hawkeye began streaming, and due to the extensive special effects, the first series starring a Muslim superhero was pushed back to early 2022. Now it has been delayed until the end of the year. I think it's going to be delayed one more time, and I think that it's a lot of different reasons. I think that they are a little afraid of how people are going to react to this series. I really do. I think that they are questioning the decision to go with this, and I think that they want... I think that they probably... I'm just going to be 100% honest. I think that the show was probably a little bit too in-your-face woke, and they kind of want to tone it down. We've heard some rumors that a lot of the script was very messy. They wanted to change some of the script. Now we're hearing that it's delayed again, and they're doing extensive reshoots. So I'm going to assume and you guys don't have to believe me, you don't have to agree with me, but I'm gonna assume that they realized how in your face it was and they needed to kind of dial it back a little bit. Otherwise, why would they delay it again until the end of the year, a whole year almost? And why would they do all these reshoots for weeks, apparently? It says one of Kamala Khan's co-creators has called the pressure of the series intense. Some of the intensities come from fans who have made the hashtag #FixMissMarvel trending on Twitter, following much of the news from behind the scenes of the series. This also includes casting non-Muslim actress and the controversy surrounding Marvel Studios' decision to change Miss Marvel's powers. It's pretty interesting that they decided to do this, because they're all about, you have to cast people that actually fit into the role and fit into the character's description. So you'd think that they would have cast a Muslim actress to play the character, but they decided not to. I'm not someone who specifically believes that. I think that if someone can do a good job, they deserve to have a fair chance at the role. I'm someone who is under that belief, but we're not talking about a company like Marvel thinking that. They've always been against that type of idea. But yeah, guys, apparently Miss Marvel is undergoing some heavy, extensive reshoots right now. Which I guess we'll see what happens with it, but we do know that there's been controversy surrounding the show because they're changing some of the shape-shifting abilities, they're changing some of her powers, and we all assume that it would kind of be a very woke show, and it's not out yet, so we don't know. But it's pretty safe to assume that it's going to be a woke show. So with that being said, we're going to move into the next topic in just a minute. That's all that I had to talk about with Marvel/Disney. They suck. Thanks for coming to my Titan Talk. I think that that the Miss Marvel show, I think it's got a big budget, but I think it's going to look super low budget, super cheesy. I think it's just going to be, I think that the problem is that they're going to try to market it towards young adults, and it's not young adults that are going to care about it. I'm just going to be honest. I think that there's a problem now with making shows and content in general for young adult audiences, because young adult audiences do not want the same things that, like, Marvel is creating. Sometimes shows click, sometimes they don't click, and I don't think that Miss Marvel is going to click. We'll see, though. Disney didn't really make No Way Home. That was Sony. It was Marvel and Sony. Yes. But you have to consider the other two Spider-Man movies were very Disney-feeling. Do you think Marvel will learn its lesson after seeing the results of No Way Home? No, not really. I think that a problem that we face is that companies are companies. They'll do one thing that works really, really well, and then we'll have 10 other things that are really, really terrible. And I think that they're gonna see the success of No Way Home and maybe shift around some of their priorities with characters. Like, maybe they weren't thinking about doing another Spider-Man trilogy before. They've seen the success and now they want to do another. But I don't think that we're going to see an overall shift in the mentality behind the movies, the scripts behind the movies, the overall picture that the company's providing to people right now. At the end of the day, yeah, it's all about money, and I don't know why, but companies now want more messaging. They want to push messaging more than making money, which is really fucking bizarre. Yeah, guys, this is a topic that has me very, very worried. Obviously, I'm willing to give things a chance, but this topic right here is very, very worrying. I don't know. Miss Marvel super duper duper woke? Probably, yes. Probably. We'll get even more nostalgia bait movies. I do agree. I feel like, though, with No Way Home, it was not a big nostalgia bait. I truly felt like they saw the characters that people wanted. They listened to feedback. They actually did what people wanted. And I didn't feel like it was a big nostalgia bait. But I think that they're going to look at it and, yeah, go, oh, shit, we can make a lot more money if we fucking nostalgia bait people. But, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Alright, guys. On to the next topic. Anime. You guys know I love anime. I want to protect the anime at all costs. But, unfortunately, we know that companies just view things like anime as ways to make money. And every company wants to make money. And we unfortunately also know that anime is in a little bit of a rough spot when it comes to the Western world. And I talked about High Dive a lot here on the channel, mainly because High Dive is probably the best of the anime streaming services right now, primarily because there have been CEOs and people at the company that have said that we want to provide people with any type of content they want. We're not afraid of backlash or outrage, and they allowed things on their platforms like Redo of Healer. But all good things can come to an end because AMC is entering the anime game and they are completing the purchase of Sentai Filmworks and streaming service High Dive. This is very fucking worrying because if you guys do not know, AMC Networks owns Shudder. And Shudder does have some decent content, but I'd say 80% of Shudder's originals are extremely woke. It says, with their recent purchase of Sentai, the Houston-based anime distributor, whose holdings include well-known anime distributors Sentai Filmworks and High Dive, AMC Networks has officially become the latest Western entertainment entity to make a play at the rapidly growing market of anime fans. Anime has been growing rapidly for the past few years because the creators are making content that people actually want to consume. It says, announced on January 5th, the acquisition will see Sentai's licensed anime offerings such as Akame ga Kill, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and Redo of Healer join AMC's ever-growing library of niche content. Some of my favorite anime, I'm going to be honest. The purchase will also put Sentai's aptly named localization and recording studio, Sentai Studios, under AMC's direction, as well as all member interests of Cool Japan Fund Inc., a Japanese investment fund who has so far invested roughly $33 million in the anime distributor. It says, alongside the announcement of the purchase, AMC also affirmed that by 2025, they expect to reach 20 million to 25 million paid subscribers across its various services. I'm gonna be honest, guys, this is really, really sketchy. Really, really worrying here. The only thing I think that gives me hope are the comments made by the management team. It says in a statement, one of them said, "We are thrilled by AMC Networks' acquisition and are excited to be a part of their growth strategy. This acquisition will not change Sentai's mission to deliver the most exciting anime content to audiences around the world. It will expand it greatly and will give our content businesses more distribution, more partnerships, more scale, and more reach." I could not be more pleased. And I think that this is really important because on one hand, I do really worry that AMC is going to completely fuck up High Dive and fuck up the content that's being put onto this service. But at the same time, the people running High Dive haven't failed us in the past. They've done pretty good. They've listened to consumers. They've stuck by the content they want to provide people, and they've done a good job. So on one hand, it's like I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, we know how companies are, and at the end of the day, they sign this deal because they need money, and unfortunately, we know that money comes before everything else. It doesn't matter what consumers really want as long as they're making a shit ton of dollar bills. It says, though, further, AMC Network's interim CEO said of the purchase, with a seasoned team, strong content, and direct-to-consumer offerings for fans around the world, Sentai is a key global player in anime. It is true. We know that now Sony owns Funimation and Crunchyroll, and they're planning on kind of combining the two. And I think that with that, people are going to be, I am going to be honest, I do think that people are going to be looking at anime alternatives, and I think that High Dive is a major player, and I think that's, it's not hard to see why they'd want to buy it right now, while they can still make changes, kind of pump up numbers, while they can market it more. It says, though, the acquisition builds on AMC Network's already strong IP and franchises, and furthers our targeted streaming strategy of super serving passionate audiences with content, depth, curation, and community. It's really, really tough, guys. It really, really is. It says AMC's buyout is but the latest move made by a major entertainment company to enter Western anime market. Crunchyroll was acquired by AT&T by Sony's Funimation, consolidating two of the biggest American anime streaming services under a singular banner. Taking a different path, both Netflix and Disney have also begun to produce their own exclusive anime series, resulting in such experimental releases as Ultraman and Star Wars Visions, respectively. I don't think that all of this content has been absolutely terrible. I think that there have been hits and misses when it comes to the Western world of anime. Again, my biggest worry here is the content and how High Dive is going to be ran. If they stick the way that they are now, I think that they're going to be perfectly fine, and this is probably a really good situation for anime fans. But unfortunately, companies don't really listen to what consumers want, and they just kind of do what they think is going to be the best move. And with something like Shudder, you know, Shudder does have some decent content, don't get me wrong, but Shudder at the same time, like, 80% of the originals are super fucking woke, and it turns out that, yeah, I hope that they stick to their guns and they keep making good content on High Dive, and High Dive isn't completely fucking ruined. But looking at Shudder, I'm not feeling super confident in it. Only time will tell. When we have more information on it, I will definitely be talking about it again. So that's all that I really had to discuss with that. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in chat. We'll see, though. Japanese animation companies should frankly open their own services for worldwide distribution instead of outsourcing. I agree, but it all comes down to them not doing it. As a consumer, I would love that. I would love to directly support more, you know, Japanese creators and animation companies, but they don't either see a profit or they see it as being too much. Maybe they don't have the resources for it. So we just kind of get what we get in a way. It definitely, it could go 50-50. It really could. It all depends on how it works out. I want it to be positive. I want it to be really good. I don't want to see High Dive fail, because High Dive has been good. Look at Redo of Healer. But you can't change companies, and if AMC acquires them and they fuck it up, they fuck it up. Money-wise, Japan probably doesn't want to risk the money. True. They don't have the money, yeah. Yeah, if AMC just lets High Dive do whatever they want and provide the necessary resources and funding to keep the lights on, go ahead. Just don't change the morals for High Dive. I 100% agree. I pay for High Dive, I support High Dive, and I will continue to support High Dive. But if their content starts to shift, I will definitely be backing out of that, and I will not support the platform anymore. Just kind of the way that it is. I started supporting High Dive a little bit before the Redo of Healer situation, because I'm totally for alternative services. But if they start fucking around with the content offerings, I'm not gonna support them. So we'll see, guys. Yeah, hold out hope for High Dive being left alone. Hopefully, everything will go well with it, guys. Hopefully, they will not massively fuck it up. Only time will tell. In other news, I'm not gonna really read this article, but did you guys hear about this? Take fucking 2. Holy shit. We thought that Star Wars purchase was big. That was like $4 billion. We thought that Marvel's purchase was big. That was like $4 billion. We thought that Bethesda being purchased for $8 billion by Microsoft was massive. Take-Two whipped out their money dick, and they've bought Farmville's creator Zynga for almost $13 billion. I don't know who signed this fucking check, but whoever it was, what? I get it. Zynga is a big company. I get it. Gaming is like 40, or mobile is like 40% of the gaming market. $13 billion? Who the fuck thought that this was a good idea? I'm sorry. Are they really worth it? Oh my god. That is a lot. Yeah, Take-Two. I was like, what? Out of all the companies, fucking Take-Two? That was not on my bingo card for 2022, guys. Take-Two. Why? That's my first question. Why? I get it. Zynga has like Farmville and like all the Ville knockoffs, and like they have a license with Star Wars right now for doing the Star Wars Hunter mobile game or whatever. $13 billion? I can't. Pretty sure all the animals on my Farmville have been dead for 15 years. Guys, I never got into Farmville. Maybe now's the time. Is Farmville still fucking up? Didn't they, like, yeah, they did Farmville 2. It's not the same as Farmville 1, guys. It's just not, it's not the same. Farmville 1 or Riot. I can't believe it, though. $13 billion. Holy shit. Just wanted to bring that up. Oh my god. We thought that fucking Bethesda was allotted $8 billion. Or Star Wars at at $4 billion. Or Marvel at $4 billion was a lot. $13 billion. From Take-Two. I can't get over the Take-Two part. What's Take-Two's net worth? The net worth of Take-Two 2021 was $19 billion? That something doesn't add up here. I don't know, guys. Seems pretty suspicious to me. It's a lot of fucking money. Let me just say. I'll give them $5. That's all I'm offering. Guys, ready or not, this is not a surprising thing not to talk about. Game journalists putting out hit pieces and game developers bending the knee to Outrage. Unfortunately, we have seen this happen far too many times, and unfortunately, it's happening again. NME put out this article on January 5th saying, Ready or Not is a well-made tactical FPS that I feel uncomfortable playing. And only days later, the developers for this game put out a statement saying, we're sorry. We're gonna do better, and we're gonna change content in the game. I'm not gonna read this whole article, because for some reason, I don't want to say 90, maybe like 70% of this article is literally them praising the game, saying that it's, you know, SWAT 4, the game that it's a spiritual successor to, was one of their favorite games. It's, you know, an amazing tactical FPS game, and this game has a lot of hope going for it, you know. It's a tactical FPS so heavily inspired by SWAT 4 that it verges upon being a remake. They're praising the idea of this game. And then they complain that it doesn't address enough about the real world. The bigger problem, however, is that Ready or Not fails to address the thematic challenges of making a SWAT game in 2022. The last few years have laid bare with many institutional problems within modern police forces, particularly in the US, but in other countries like the UK and France too. Endemic corruption and racial bias has combined with a growing militarization of the police, creating scenarios where gross abuses of power are commonplace. Making my head spin, guys. Let me put this statement out there, right? The world is unfortunately in a very shitty place. But most people play video games to forget about problems in the real world. People look at video games, movies, books, entertainment for escapism. You do not have to put real-life parallels in your game if you don't want to. And more developers need to fucking realize that. But of course, one hit piece comes out, they're shaking in their boots! It says from the murder of George Floyd by a police officer and the resulting BLM movement to the phenomenon of swatting, the perception of the police by the general public has shifted enormously in the last 15 years, and there is an ongoing conversation about the role the police are intended to play in society versus how they actually operate. Oh boy, it's a police hit piece. I mean, it literally is. The Police, I love that band. Admittedly, there are difficult topics to address in a game, especially one you engage through the sights of a gun. But I don't see how you can make a SWAT game today without at least acknowledging the question mark hanging over militarized police units. Yet that's exactly what Void Interactive does. For all its claims of realism, Ready or Not's portrayal of SWAT units is pure Hollywood fantasy. The gameplay itself, the way that the guns work, the way that, like, you shoot, that's supposed to be more realistic. That's where the realism comes in. Not from the statements the game makes, but from the actual gameplay. Of course, the portrayal of the SWAT units is going to be pure Hollywood fantasy. It's a video game. Its fictional version of LA. Wait, I thought that this was a realistic game. So in the previous statement, they said, oh, it's supposed to be based on realism, but it's a fictional version of LA. Why can't they see the problems with their statements? It says LA is a dank and grimy place riddled top to bottom with crime, so you are the unambiguous light that cuts through the darkness, blah, blah, blah. It says arrested hostages utter phrases like you look like the guys in the movie Nice Guns, bring order to chaos, a phrase from Judge Dredd. In short, Ready or Not comes across as playable police propaganda, which makes the developers' plans to include features like a school shooter level, quote unquote, all the more concerning. To be clear, I don't think games should be precluded from exploring any subject, and done right, such an idea could be an interesting way to explore this horrific phenomenon, to give you a first-hand perspective of the terror and trauma the United States cavalier attitude towards gun ownership has inflicted upon generations of children. Oh, it's the children! We've got to protect the children. Oh no, we have to look at how this is affecting the children of today. I don't think that games have to be realistic. I do think that you can have a game like a Call of Duty or a Ready or Not with guns and police, and you don't have to make a statement on it. You don't have to make a statement on the real world. But, of course, Void Interactive, they're too afraid of this article and the potential outrage that they're facing. And they decided to make some statements, bending the knee to the outrage. We would like to start by saying that Void Interactive does not support or condone any form of racism, bigotry, or alt-right views, and any such views will never be tolerated by our development team in our community. Of course, guys. Of course. They couldn't just say something. Like, we don't condone racism, bigotry, hatred. They just had to fucking cram in their alt-right views. We have a diverse team of developers and contractors from many parts of the world and strive to create a welcoming environment for our player base and for our people. That's great. Companies should be welcoming and inclusive and shouldn't be fucking shitholes for people. But do you really need to say this in a statement about a video game? It says, additionally, while our game touches on hard realities and mature topics, we have no intention for it or any of our games we may produce to be a conduit for hate. Murder isn't, I'm sorry guys, murder isn't hateful though? They're saying that they're touching on hard realities and mature topics, right? But they don't want to create games that may be a conduit for hate, and I do not believe that video game violence causes violence in the real world. But is murdering people in a game, like, is that like the equivalent of Farmville here? No! That's the problem here, is that these developers don't want these game journalists don't want these types of games to exist because they're violent, they're brutal, and they like to go on the narrative that video games cause real-world violence, which of course they don't. There's no scientific research to back up those claims. But when they're making statements like this, they need to realize that these journalists are never gonna be fucking happy. Your game has guns in it. Your game has violence in it. You are killing people in your video game. These journalists are never gonna get off your fucking back about it. So as soon as you bend the knee, you are losing an audience of people. There are 84 people in this stream right now. Give the stream a like, guys, by the way. Thanks. Self-shilling. There are 85 people in this stream right now. Put a 1 in chat if you are going to buy this game now, and put a 2 in chat if you are not going to buy this game. Because I bet you 80 to 90, I was going to say 85 to 90, 80 to 90% of the people here will not fucking buy your game now because you're making statements like this and you're bending the knee. So you just lost out on 85 people buying your game that could have bought your game to maybe get 1 or 2 people on the opposing side to buy your game. There are people that complain about these types of games that have fictional violence, but they're never, even if you change things in your game, they're not going to give you a chance. They're still not going to buy your game, even if you remove specific content, if you change assets. You're losing our business. You're losing their business. We're not going to give you another chance, and the people on the other side aren't going to give you a chance either. How do they not understand this? It says, regarding the level props that have been mentioned, these are placeholder assets that were put in place to fill otherwise bare spaces and were supplied by a contractor we no longer use. These assets will be removed as we continue to develop the game. Regarding the red pill boxes specifically, these were intended solely as a reference to the Matrix movie. A noggin jogger is slang for an activity or challenge that messes with the mind and is commonly used as a reference to complex puzzles. And then it says, we take allegations quite seriously and rest assured that the development team was not aware of any hateful connotations with the aforementioned props. We appreciate the community members that have brought up this concern. And then they're saying that we have already taken steps to remove these placeholder assets, which we'll note in the game's next update. So of course they're bending the knee to Outrage. They're changing things around. It's a video game. Get over it. Is it really that scary? Not in my opinion. Should we be canceling a game because it's got guns in it? Because it's got violence in it? No, it's just a video game. And it's bad in both ways, because on one hand, you've got journalists that are attacking this game and wanting to get it canceled, and on the other hand, you've got developers who are giving in to the outrage and are canceling themselves, basically. So that's all that I really had to talk about with it. On the comments, I want to read this comment really quickly on the right. Lyle said, I feel you've made a mistake by making changes here. The Kotaku blogger and others like him are opposed to the very premise of your game and its refusal to demonize law enforcement. This manufactured controversy is just a convenient attack vector for them. They won't stop. And it is so completely true. even if you change your game for these people, they're not going to forgive you. They're not going to give your product another chance. They're going to be furious and outraged with you. And no matter what, you're always going to be canceled by these game journalists and by the people that follow them. So that's all that I really had to talk about with that topic. Absolutely terrible. A game that a lot of people probably would have supported. It's down the drain now. Now, I think that they are definitely going to lose some of those pre-orders and sales that maybe they had got before because of Outrage. Because they listen to game journalists in quotes, and they're giving into Outrage on social media. Wish I could say I was surprised, but honestly, I'm not. We see too many developers do this, give in to Outrage, change their titles. And hey, if you as a developer, if you want to go and change your game around and the content in your game, you go for it. Don't expect my sale, though. Don't expect me to stream it and give your game free promotion. I'm good. I don't need to do that. There's plenty of other games that exist. It's their choice. They're free to make it. So yeah, we'll move on to the 355 in just a minute, guys. We'll be talking about that next. If you guys are enjoying the live stream, give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. Consider donating via Streamlabs. All donos pop up. $3 or more, text-to-speech activates. Consider becoming a member of the channel via YouTube memberships. I will be announcing it, but I do think that next week, guys, I am going to be doing a supporter-only live stream on Wednesday. So if you're a member via YouTube memberships, a Dark Titan via Patreon, a donator, fun stuff like that, I appreciate the support. And you also get access to those streams. And a special channel in our Discord server. And a special role. What game is this? That was Ready or Not. That's the name of the game that we were just talking about. That is being censored because game journalists got mad at it. If my company came under fire from game journalists, I would make a joke apology, but it would end with calling them out and basically saying fuck censorship. I agree. Unfortunately, developers kind of see it as if the media doesn't like your game and you're having all these hit pieces put against you, you're going to lose consumers, so they instantly bend the knee to Outrage. I think it's dumb. I don't think the developers need to, you know, bend over backwards to please game journalists. But if that's what they want to do, they are free to do that. You are free to censor your game if you want. Don't expect me to play it, give it promotion, or spend money on it. Apparently the journalists were not ready. Yeah, apparently not. Apparently they were noping on that. Honestly, the Ready or Not situation makes me respect Infinity Ward when it comes to Modern Warfare 2019. They didn't censor the game to Outrage. They didn't, and I do give them big props on that, but we know how Infinity Ward is, and they've also changed things in the past and kind of kept things out of games because of Outrage. It's hard because, like, companies will sometimes do something good and then they'll make 20 bad moves. It's like with Spider-Man, you know? No Way Home was a great movie, and that was a great step in a good direction, but we know that they're going to probably take 10 steps back with the other content they come out with following the movie. I agree. I think that it's hard because developers, I think, ultimately could just put like a warning at the beginning of the game saying, hey, there's violence, disturbing images, blah blah blah. This doesn't reflect any of the developers' real intentions and personal beliefs on guns and whatever they want to say. They could put some bullshit statement at the beginning, but even then, it makes them look like they also are like little soy boys. Like, why do you have to put a warning? But they ultimately have decided, no, they're going to take it 5 steps further and remove content from the game. So, it is what it is. I think that developers could just, put a warning at the beginning of the game. It's like a quick 5-second thing that's on screen. But, of course, they don't do that. Yeah, Infinity Ward removed hand gestures because they thought that it promoted things like white supremacy. At the same time, there are other games that they haven't removed content from, even though there's Outrage, so it's always a give or take, you know? Sometimes companies do great things, and sometimes they don't. Sense of Cyberpunk Ghost Story, those developers did a great job. I actually got the physical version of that. It's back there for the Switch. Limited Run did a limited run of it, and I purchased the game on was it Steam or the Switch when it launched, and I got the physical version a couple months later. Their response to Snowflakes was absolutely perfect, and I played their game, I promoted it, I gave it some time, I did a whole playthrough, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that they did a good job with their statement. They stuck by the content they wanted to make, and that was that. But not every developer does that. Alright, guys. So, let's move into the next topic of the evening, which is going to be the 355. Now, I think it's important to point out at the beginning of this topic that I like movies with strong female leads. I like movies where the female characters are leads, even if all the main characters are female leads. I have no problems with that. There are a lot of cool female spy movies, femme fatale movies. I love them. But in 2022 and 2021, all female movies are usually bad at this point because of the messaging they shove into films, the dialogue, and overall, usually now, when you see all female movies, you know it's going to be very progressive and it's going to be pretty woke. But a new movie just came out called The 355. And of course, it's an all-female, ultra-progressive movie. And it has completely bombed in theaters. Thank you, J-Lord, for becoming a Gold Titan. Much appreciated. Welcome to the Dark Titans. Thank you for the support. Now, guys, I didn't know much about this movie. A couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I saw one ad for this film. That's how I knew that it existed. I hadn't heard anything else about it. It's been very quiet. The marketing hasn't really been there for this movie, and I think that's a big problem that it faced. But yeah, Point of No Return, La Femme Nikita. Yeah, do they forget these movies exist? 100%, I agree. There are a lot of great movies with strong females. But no, it's 2022, guys, so we have to act like those films don't exist. We can't go in that direction, the good direction. But it says the all-female, ultra-progressive 355 has hit theaters, and it's already destined to end up as another lackluster action flop, the same as Matrix Resurrections. Man, I can't believe they did that to the poor Matrix. Oh yeah, I am sure that, guys, we could sit here all night and come up with some movies with strong female characters that are absolutely amazing. Not even just like spy movies. There are so many fucking amazing movies out there that have strong female leads, like Ghostbusters 2016. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, I'm kidding. I was waiting for someone to say that. Ghostbusters 2016. But yeah, we could come up with so many different fucking movies. So many. But they were good for a reason. The writing was good. The acting was good. But now, modern day, unfortunately, whenever we see all-female movies, we basically know what the dialogue's going to be like, the acting's going to be mediocre. It's not going to be an amazing film. We know that it's going to be super woke, very progressive. But it's based on a very loose connection to a supposed female spy during the American Revolution. She did it. I did do it. The film cobbles together a handful of female stars led by Jessica Chastain as they work together to prevent a new world war from breaking out. Whew! We got some strong, independent women making sure a new world war doesn't happen. I like Jessica Chastain. Or Chastain. How do you say it? I like her. I don't think that she's a bad actress. I do think, though, that she's toxic to the box office. Like, any movies that she is in, they do not do good. I do not know why. She's a pretty good actress. But she's been in so many movies that could have been amazing that just weren't. I don't know. She's just... I feel like she's a good actress. But she always gets thrown into these types of movies. Chastain? Okay. I wasn't sure how to say it. Not the best or most unique premise in the world, and that's very clearly evident in the mainstream critic scores, which are abysmal. However, put the story aside, and the question is why the 355 started out so poorly and will no doubt end its theatrical run without having made enough to recoup its own budget. It's all about the progressivism, baby. Of course, we knew that this was going to happen. Surprisingly, if you look at this cast, guys, we're not talking about the worst cast in the world. Penelope Cruz, I don't mind her. Jessica, not bad. Diane Kruger, not bad. Lupita, I mean, these are some pretty decent female actresses that have been in other movies that aren't terrible. But that's what they should have banked on. That they had these great actresses. I'd say half of them are great. They have these great actresses that can do a lot, but instead, it's like they took these great actresses, threw them into the movie, and the story, the dialogue was just very mediocre. If we go over to Rotten Tomatoes, the scores are a little bit suspicious right now. So oh, look at that, it went from 25 to 26. Okay. So the critic scores are currently at a 26%. That is absolutely abysmal. But if we look at the audience scores, this is something that's been a little bit suspicious. The all audience score has been at a 70% for 3 days now. It has not moved. Even though hundreds of ratings have been left, the audience score has not budged at all, which is a little bit suspicious. But when I saw it had a 70%, I thought that's not that bad. That's really not that terrible. 70%, it's not perfect, it's not amazing, but it's also not awful. But the critic scores are abysmal, a 26%. I just want to read a couple of the ratings. Oh, in Metacritic, I also want to show this off. The Metacritic ratings are also abysmal. The user score is a 2.0, and the Metascore for critics is a 40. Absolutely terrible. Let's go on over to Rotten Tomatoes, read just a couple of the reviews. Yeah, Grim is correct. Look at how they made Phoebe look up to her grandfather in Colin's special. And yeah, I think that, you know, Ghostbusters Afterlife did an amazing job at having a main female as the, a female as the main character. But they didn't have to shoot down the men and push down the men and degrade the men to lift up the female characters and the women, and I think they did a great job in that. Unfortunately, we know that that's very rare for movies now, because all they do in movies now, let's be honest, like 90% of them is degrade the men to raise up the women, which is dumb. But let's read a couple of the reviews. Lots of 2.5s out of 5s here, lots of 3 out of 10s. Not looking super good. The first one is a 3 out of 10, and it says, as films like Mission Impossible have shown us, a simple plot like this can be elevated through amazing action sequences and memorable characters. The 355 has neither, which is so weird to hear. Because, again, these are some pretty good actresses, but you can have great actresses and unfortunately dumb them down to a point where the finished product is not good. Seems like the writing terrible. People didn't agree with it. People didn't like it. Action sequences. It just seems like this movie was kind of low budget. It was very thrown together. Didn't seem to hit the spot for people. 3 out of 5, not terrible. This cool spy and action thriller is elevated by an awesome all-female cast and by the fact that the story gives you a peek into each character's personal life. I think a problem that we're seeing with this is also kind of the same problem we saw with Eternals, is that you've got a movie with 5 main characters, and they try to explain the backstories and the personalities of all 5 characters, and it's a 2-hour movie. It's 2 hours and 2 minutes. That's not enough time with Eternals. A giant problem was you had like 11 characters that you had to basically explain the background of for the movie, and then you also had to set up the plot at the same time, and it just doesn't work. I think that movies like this, you got to start slow and steady because that ultimately wins the race. The 3-5-5, I think that maybe they should have started out with 3 female characters. Maybe another movie, they add 2 more, something like that. But it's barely over that 2-hour mark. That's just not enough time to flesh out 5 characters and a story and get the plot all done. It says a lack of intrigue dooms the movie from the get-go. Someone gave it a 2.5 out of 4. This is a title that screams, watch me at home. That's what I was saying at the beginning. I feel like this is a movie that just wouldn't do amazing at the box office, but it might do good being on something like an HBO Max, being on a streaming service. People, I think, would probably want to watch this more at home. Of course, that didn't happen. They decided to release it in theaters. But I think that it probably would have done much better if they released it on a streaming service of some sort. I think another big problem with this movie was the marketing. There was like 0 fucking marketing for this film, guys. I know that I had heard about this movie like 2.5 weeks ago. It was an ad on like a YouTube or a Twitch or something like that. There was an ad that I had gotten. But I only got one ad for this movie the whole entire time. It's like none of their budget went to the marketing. And I get it. Like, marketing can end up being a lot of money. But you need marketing in order for your movie to succeed, especially at something like the box office. I mean, I don't know what their budget was for this film. But none of it went to marketing. Here's a question, because I saw you guys talking about it at the beginning of the stream when I was explaining the topics. Did any of you see marketing for this film? Because I don't think that the marketing was there for this. Okay, I'm going to time you out. Feel free to come back and be respectful at some point. Thanks. I just don't think the marketing was there for this. Probably high considering who's involved. Probably. You would think that with all these big actresses that they would have a good budget, but none of that fucking money went to the marketing. They spent $355 for marketing. I saw 10 ads on YouTube total. Yeah, I saw like 1 ad, and that's it. 150 million? No shot. The 355 budget. If this shit had a $150 million budget, no way. Hold on, hold on, I gotta use Google. Can you just give me the goddamn number already? $75 million. From what I see on Google. Yeah, $75 million. You would think a couple million would go to marketing, at least. I just feel like they didn't put enough into marketing. There's no, like, banners on websites. There wasn't... I didn't even really see any articles. I didn't even see... I didn't even really see, trailers, interviews. Usually, like, websites will do interviews with the cast as promotional material. I didn't see any of that for this film. Absolutely bonkers. Tax evasion and money laundering movie. That's a conspiracy. Yeah, there wasn't any anticipation for the 355. It genuinely, half of a movie budget is advertising. Yeah, usually, and I feel like in this case, the marketing was non-existent, basically. Let me check chat really quickly. If you had to choose between watching 355 or Resurrections, which would you choose? I don't know. The thing with Matrix Resurrections is that, like, some of the action sequences weren't terrible, but the plot was just really meh. It was just really mediocre. I don't know. 75 million? Jesus, I could fund a game with that money. Yeah, unfortunately, we see movies getting worse, even though budgets are getting higher, guys, and I think it's kind of funny. I mean, look at some movies. They have 150 million. Look at, like, Black Widow. Like, $150 million for a budget. The CG, something's always terrible. Whether it's the CGI, the actor choices, the sets, something's always off. There's very few movies, I feel, that have giant budgets that actually are perfect. It's like they forget about one aspect of a film. And in this case, 75 million, it's not the largest amount for a movie, but it's also not low budget. But it's like they completely missed out on the marketing. A 1 out of 4, guys. Feels like a film destined to be forgotten, relegated to late-night showings on basic cable, while the cast moves on to bigger and better things. Diane Kruger slapping Jessica across the face with a frozen fish should be funny. It just seems like very mediocre humor, mediocre acting, mediocre writing. Overall, guys, as you can see, the movie is doing absolutely terrible at the box office. 1 out of 5. The top-notch female cast isn't provided a decent blueprint to develop out of the provided stereotypes. The James Bond Mission Impossible spin that the actors try to emulate never takes full flight. This predictable and emotionless spy flick has neither charismatic characters, despite a recognizable and talented cast, nor any memorable action. The 355 is one of the ugliest, most visually incoherent entries in the genre in years. Again, I would love to see a movie with female spies, females kicking ass. I would love that. But unfortunately, the writing wasn't here. It seems like they wasted the potential they had with the cast. It seems like the action was mediocre. Overall, pretty disappointing movie. But not surprising, because they marketed it. A little bit of marketing, as you can see from the descriptions, as just hey, we're all females and we're here to kick ass. So that's all that I really had to discuss with that. The next topic is gonna just kind of be a brief one. I don't know if you guys heard about this situation. It's about The Witcher. And The Witcher, here, let me move this up a little bit. About the Witcher showrunner attacking and belittling people, critics of season 2, YouTubers like the Quartering Critical Drinker, many people. Well, that's something different. Listen. Witcher season 2, it had some things that were good. And some things about it were just not very good. Which we'll talk about in a second. But, I wish I could say I was surprised. The screenwriter for Witcher has decided to go on social media attacking people. Cavill wasn't wasted on The Witcher. The Witcher miscast the lead when choosing Cavill. I 100% disagree. I think that Henry Cavill has done great as Geralt. I think that he has done great. I would not call Penelope Cruz talented. I don't think that she's the best actress, but I also think that she could be utilized in movies in ways that play to her strong points. I feel like she's an okay actress. So this all started on Twitter a couple of days ago when The Quartering put out a tweet talking about The Witcher Season 2. And The Witcher Season 2 has gotten very mediocre scores from a lot of people. I personally loved... I thought that Season 1 was very good. I wouldn't say that I loved it, because I thought that there were things that were lacking. Some of the outfits, like the ballsack armor, was absolutely terrible. The CGI was dog shit. And the pacing was a little bit off with the 3 different timelines in Witcher Season 1. And I thought that Season 2 did fix a lot of those problems. They fixed the armor. The armor looked 100 times better. With Season 2, I felt like the music was spot on. The CGI was 100 times better. But unfortunately, it also had its problems. And a lot of people have been very critical about The Witcher Season 2. But The Quartering decided to put out a tweet talking about The Witcher, saying Henry Cavill has been totally wasted on The Witcher. Geralt continues to play second or third fiddle on his own show because Netflix, the writers are so obsessed to force the strong, independent woman who doesn't need no man, they ignore why most of us wanted to watch. He said, don't get me wrong, I like Yen, Ciri, etc., but they have way too much screen time. Season 2 is a slight improvement from Season 1, but not enough to make me really anticipate a Season 3 in any meaningful way. And you would think that would be that. He's put his opinions on social media. That would be it. Some people would agree. Some people would disagree. But the screenwriter decided to retweet this and cause a controversy. And not just one retweet. She retweeted multiple people's opinions, basically saying, you're trash. So she decided to retweet The Quartering's post, saying, actually, I'm the strong, independent woman you're looking to blame for your sadness, with the kiss face. Here we fucking go. This is the worst possible thing that you can do as a screenwriter, as a producer, as a director, as whoever the fuck, is go on social media and attack people who are being critical of your product. It's the worst thing you could do. People were saying things like, with all due respect, I think he has a point, and as a strong, independent woman myself, I agree with him. This season was not as good as Season 1. I also felt like we didn't get enough Henry on screen. The Fringilla arc was boring. Telling Yen she was amazing every 5 minutes was a little bit much. I agree. Yeah, he didn't even tag anyone. That's a good point. He didn't even tag anyone in this tweet. He literally just said, I think that The Witcher Season 2 wasn't that great. It's not like he was tagging networks and tagging individuals and making rude comments. The kissy face is what gets me. Acting like, oh, I'm so high and mighty. I use a kiss face in my tweet. That's gonna make people agree with me. Then the critical drinker decided to give his opinion on the show, saying, you're also the person who wanted to throw a cheap joke into the Roach death scene, and it was only Henry Cavill who persuaded you, a professional writer, what a terrible idea that was. I don't think you have a whole lot to boast about right now, and it's true. Apparently Lauren Hisrich here wanted to make a joke out of Roach's death, and Henry Cavill had to tell her, I don't want you to do that. I think that that's a terrible idea. And I do give her props for listening to Henry Cavill. People make mistakes sometimes. Sometimes you just are feeling like you're in a little bit of a silly, goofy mood. You want to make a joke about Roach's death, right? She didn't ultimately do it. But she listened to Henry Cavill because he knew how terrible of an idea that was. And she decided to retweet Critical Drinker's post saying, this is blown up. Here's what was scripted in homage of the fact that a previous Roach had existed and another one will exist soon. It's hardly a joke. Henry wanted to make a longer, more emotional moment, which I was more than happy to give him. Don't create drama where none exists. Kiss face. What is up with this kiss face? It's like she's trying to, like... be the bigger person. Like, oh, I can make a joke out of something and you can't. Don't create drama where none exists. She's so full of herself, and I hate it. I hate when people do this. You know, people should be allowed to post on social media their thoughts and opinions about a show, a game, a product, whatever the case may be. But going and retweeting people's opinions because you are offended by them is probably the worst thing that you can do. I'm just going to be honest. I decided to put out a tweet about my personal opinion on the situation. I had put out a tweet just saying, the only reason why people will give season 3 a chance is because Henry is already damage controlling, saying he wants the next season to stay true to source material. And it's true. He's already going into interviews saying things like, hey, I'm up for doing multiple more seasons of the show, but people really didn't like the direction we went with season 2. I'm hoping that, you know, in season 3, it's going to be truer to source material. He is already damage controlling. He is the only reason why people would give season 3 a chance. I didn't hate the direction with season 2. It did stray away from source material, which I did not like. I really didn't like it. I wish that they had stayed true to the source material. I wish that they had stayed with the pacing. The pacing was all over the place. If you've read the books, by the way, Lauren, whatever your name is, Miss Kissy Face, I have the Witcher books behind me. I've read them. I've played the games. Absolutely fantastic series. I felt the pacing was a bit off. I felt like the show overall was okay. They definitely made a lot of improvements from season 1, but I feel like going into season 3, they definitely need to stick more to the source material to make people come back to watch it again, to give it more of a chance. I think that it's ridiculous, though, that you have showrunners going on social media attacking individuals that are just being critical, because ultimately people are allowed to be critical. If I don't like your show, I'm allowed to say, hey, I think that your show's bad. I think that you did a bad job. I'm questioning the choices you made. You wanted to make a joke out of Roach's death, and I don't, as a Witcher fan, appreciate that. You shouldn't be going on social media and saying things like, don't create drama where none exists. You're not the bigger person in this situation. You're stooping to other people's level, because she basically says, oh, you know, you're a pretty low person for doing this, you know, oh, you're criticizing me over decisions I didn't make, but I was thinking about. If you think people are being so terrible, don't stoop to their level. I don't think that putting up tweets saying, you know, I think that your decisions are questionable is a problem. I really don't think that that's an issue. But she does. Kissy face. Everyone spam the kissy faces. I bet the showrunner did not read the books. Probably not. Hey, Laura! Lauren? Lori? Whatever your name is. I'll send you the copies of my Witcher books if you want. I know they're like $60 online. Maybe you just don't have the funds right now. But I'll send you my copies of The Witcher if you want to read them. I'll even read them to you. How about that? You think that... Listen, at the end of the day, you'd think that these people would take the criticisms and run with them and be like, because that's what they did with season 1. With season 1, they were like, we're listening to people, we get it. You want wigs to look different, you want armor to look better and more book and game accurate, you want the CGI to be better. They listened to people, and they did such a good job because all those things were changed in season 2. But then they created other problems in season 2, and unfortunately didn't turn out that amazing. So that's all that I really had to discuss, guys. I'm gonna hang around for 10-15 minutes. If you guys have any questions or topics you'd like me to discuss, feel free to leave them in chat. We're gonna be hanging out for a little bit. If you guys are enjoying the stream, give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Consider becoming a Dark Titan via YouTube memberships. The links are in the description. You get a shiny badge next to your name. You get access to supporter-only live streams. It does really help out the channel. Consider donating via Streamlabs. All donos, all support pops up. Thanks for being here. With that said, if you guys have any questions, leave them in chat. Or topics you want me to discuss, leave them in chat. Linda? Lily? Lisa? Whatever her name is. It's Lauren. Laura? Lauren. Listen, Lauren. Listen, Lauren. The show isn't complete dog shit. And that is saying so much in 2022. You haven't done a completely terrible job. So let's get back on track for season 3. Maybe. Maybe? Uh-oh. This is another topic, guys. Do you guys remember last year, Frost Kieran, going on social media? She's an esports host. She had said, she made this tweet almost a year to the day, saying, we really need to talk about diversity in esports broadcasts because holy shit, that's a lot of white. Just blindingly white, as far as the eye can see, white. I talked about this in a video last year when she made this statement, but she, for the new year, decided to make another statement talking about sexism in the gaming industry and unconscious biases. And I made a tweet about it saying a year ago she went off on the gaming industry for being too white. Now she's going off on gaming for unconscious biases and sexism. Going off on tons of people because there's a few shitheads in your mentions doesn't help the industry, just makes you look like a Karen. And I had said going on shows and blowing up isn't the way to bring awareness to a situation. Instead of having a yelling match about it, maybe provide some statistics, multiple women with multiple point of views, and actually show people individuals' experiences. I don't know if I should play this for you guys. I hope that you can hear this.
Gaming.
Uh-oh.
In joining G4,
I'm not clapping. Shut the...
Sexism in gaming.
Sexism in gaming, G4, guys. Yeah, she's on G4.
This is not where I thought we were going, but I'm here. I'm here.
Look at this.
I'm listening. Yeah.
Look at his face. He's like, I didn't know this is the direction we're going. And he's looking at the camera like, ah, shit. Ah, shit, here we go. I think that this is super funny. He's like, oh, no. Are we really doing this?
In joining G4, I was ecstatic to be part of something that I grew up watching as a child.
That's great. Good for you.
Every time G4 is brought up in various channels, even in this YouTube channel, we have the chat in front of us. I can see you without a doubt.
Okay, Santa Claus, I can see you. I know when you're sleeping and I know when you're awake.
There will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous hosts.
People have backlash that you're a host for multiple reasons. It's not just because you're not, quote unquote, as she's saying, not as bangable as Olivia. People don't like you for a multitude of reasons. Some of them are probably stupid. If people are sitting here insulting your looks, that's shitty. There are shitty people in the gaming industry, but there are shitty people in literally every industry. So to throw the gaming industry under the bus, like you have year after year, is ridiculous. Last year, she went on social media complaining about, oh, the industry is too white. We need less white. The everything in the industry is white. That was disgusting to say, because it shouldn't matter what people's skin color is, as long as they're doing their job. But now, of course, she's bringing up sexism. Problems with sexism in the industry. And again, there are 100% people in this industry that are ists, that are just gross people. There are probably people that, yes, look at you and go, oh, you're not as hot as the last G4 host. But you're talking about such a small amount of people. You're grouping everyone together, and that's terrible. You shouldn't just be grouping everyone together. Oh, the industry's sexist. Why? Because you got a few mentions in your Twitter that you didn't like? That's terrible.
It's somehow...
Jesus Christ.
It has somehow been expected that you can talk about how much you jerked off to women as a compliment. It's not a compliment.
It's weird.
It's dehumanizing, and it's weird. Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you.
Just because someone... Okay. She's correct. People do not exist to be pretty or attractive or to be nice on the eyes. But does that mean we can't acknowledge and say, hey, you're really pretty? If that person does exist? Is that instantly sexist? Because that's how these people come off. If you tell someone you're really attractive, it's instantly sexist and it's terrible, which I don't agree with. She's getting so mad, though. My problem with this is not her opinion. She's allowed to have her own opinions. She's allowed to voice her own opinions. But the problem is that she's going on something like G4, and she's doing a whole segment about this. She's not providing statistics. She's not providing evidence. She's not providing other women's opinions. She's just saying, you guys are all sexist and disgusting. Like last year when she said, oh, the gaming industry's too white. As I said in my tweet about it, I think a giant problem that I have is the awareness, okay? If she's saying the industry is sexist and disgusting, bring people on with different opinions. Like, I'm not saying that I want to go on, right? But let's look at her opinions versus my opinions on the gaming industry. She's saying the gaming industry's too white, the gaming industry's sexist, she has terrible interactions with people all the time. My stance would be, yeah, there's shitheads in the industry, but there's shitheads in literally every industry that's existed ever. Those people exist. The bad apples exist in every industry. So you shouldn't be shoving down a whole industry for a couple of bad individuals. I've had bad experiences in the industry. I still care about it. I still love it. So I don't bring them up all the time because it is what it is, right? But she's acting like 9 out of 10 times when a guy is in the chat, they're objectifying her. They're saying, you're terrible looking, you're an awful person, clearly you got hired just because you're a woman, blah, blah, blah. Don't get so hurt over it. It's the internet. They're words on a screen. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me? Did we forget about that? Guys, my problem is that she's not presenting this argument in a good way. She's sitting here yelling at people, saying you're sexist, you're ists, you're phobes, you're blah, blah, blah. Your unconscious biases blind you. Your sexism blinds you. She doesn't have multiple women with their opinions on. She's not hearing another side of the story, other people's opinions. She's not providing statistics. She's literally just yelling at a camera, which I guess I do every day. I don't know. I love how she pauses to hear the claps.
That's just obvious sexism. You don't need to explicitly objectify women or declare that you hate women to be sexist. Just go ahead and check out Thorn's latest meltdown on Twitter for some spark notes. Now, here at XPlay, our reviews are written and produced by a team of people.
That's
great. There are too many games for one person to shoulder the burden. So we divide and conquer. And when we use language like we or I, that's the reviewer. That's coming from the mouth and experience of the reviewer reading that review.
I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Not to say that Gerard, TBH, Adam,
you guys
or
can
myself
hear this, right?
don't contribute to the reviews. We absolutely do. But it'll always be in varying degrees and take a whole team behind us.
Hold on.
That's why we're
I gotta find it. I gotta find it. So they're doing holiday giveaways. You guys can barely see it. They're doing holiday giveaways, and they have like a Sega Genesis, one of the classic ones. They have fucking Anthem there. Who wants Anthem, dude? You couldn't even buy a better game. You literally went to GameStop to give you the cheapest game, and they handed you Anthem? Anthem, guys. That's the best they could come up with.
That review.
All right, I'll rewind it.
That's not to say that Gerard, TBH, Adam, or myself don't contribute to the reviews. We absolutely do. But it'll always be in varying degrees.
Okay, that's great.
Take a Gerard and TBH.
That's great.
But that doesn't discount the sexism of how it happens to me when it does. Both things can be true, that there is a general hatred of any change that isn't Adam, and that all receive special flame just for being a woman. And
the problem is she doesn't understand that people want to watch G4 TV for the original hosts. Because there's so many different shows like G4 TV at this point. There's so many individual podcasts online. A reason why G4 TV was able to come back is because of the nostalgia that people have for people like Adam. That's a giant reason. So of course people are going to criticize the new hosts because people just want to see the original hosts.
I wish I could turn the camera around so that you could see the incredible team that make X-Play. Half of our producers and writers are
That's
women.
great.
Emily,
Good
Abby,
for you.
Megan, Joe, Jake,
Nice.
Zipper, Gabby. It
Great.
goes on and on and on. Former writers that are now on ATOS like Vanessa. When you're in our DMs or on those YouTube comments or in Twitch chat right now, those reactionary threads thinking that I'm somehow ruining your current X-Play experience because you can't objectify me how you previously did to Morgan, or that I'm somehow less qualified to speak on something, but you can't quite put your finger on why, even though I'm reading the exact same script as Adam, but you have no problem with he's part of it. You're letting your unconscious biases ruin my day, and you're gatekeeping the gaming space.
Why don't you show us evidence? Why doesn't she? Why, if this was planned, because you'd assume all the G4 skits and segments are planned, why doesn't she show us a couple tweets or a couple instances? Just show us a little evidence. That's all I ask.
So maybe for 2022, we be a bit nicer, a bit more self-reflective, and we enjoy the fact that people are working hard to make free content for you. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
Yeah, guys, you should be happy and nicer in 2022 because I'm creating free content for you. Peace. You can donate to G4, and you can give them money. They are on Twitch, so you can subscribe via Twitch memberships, Twitch Prime. You can go to their website, but yeah. G4 decided to retweet this and say, we stand with Frost Kieran and the women in the space. You only stand with certain women in the space. They wouldn't stand with me as a woman in the space because they don't agree with my opinions. That's the problem. They only stand with certain women with certain stances. G4 TV wasn't a thing, but they came back last year. They restarted last year, basically. What a dope take. I love it. It's probably literally her on their social media accounts. Hey, I think it's perfectly fine if she wants to voice her opinions. If she feels this way, she's allowed to say her opinions, right? That's not a problem for me. My problem is that she's being so... She's getting so angry to the point where it's like it feels very unhinged. As I pointed out in my initial tweet, going off on a whole industry of people because there's a few shitheads in your mentions, it doesn't help the industry. It just makes you look like a Karen. It just makes you look super angry. It's like, for me, I criticize a lot of companies, a lot of games, a lot of products. And I do get angry about it. You guys know. But I also talk about good things. I talk about ways to help the industry. And I want the industry to be better. Going on social media and saying things like your unconscious biases and sexism ruin my day, put that on your personal Twitter if you're going through something. And again, don't forget that she was the person last year that said we really need to talk about diversity in esports broadcasts because holy shit, that's a lot of white, just blindingly white as far as the eye can see white. I think that that's disgusting. I don't think you should be attacking people based on the color of their skin. If there's a lot of white people, there's a lot of white people. They're good at their job. They can do their job. I think that everyone should get a fair opportunity to do their job. Jesus Christ.
Part of it. You're letting your unconscious biases ruin my day, and you're gatekeeping the gaming space. So maybe for 2022, we be a bit nicer, a bit more self-reflective, and we enjoy the fact that people are working hard to make free content for you. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
Hey. Just say I feel bad for you. That's a... I don't need to go.
Jesus.
I don't need to. Frost. I feel bad. I don't need to go. Don't. We're good.
My gosh. Okay, guys. I'm going to be wrapping up stream in a couple minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. If you want to ask... Guys, I will... You know how you can make the stream better, guys? For all of you out there, you can donate $5 and apologize for your unconscious biases and sexism in the gaming industry. Because everyone is the same in this industry to this person. You're terrible. You're a terrible person, basically. So feel free to donate for your unconscious biases. I mean, come on. How are people supposed to take that, truly? You're attacking a whole industry. Billions of people. Because there are a couple of shitheads in your mentions. There are some people that objectify you. I'm sorry, but that happens in every industry. She's presenting it as it's a gaming industry only problem, or there's this epidemic of things going on in the gaming industry. It's not just the gaming industry. Why on G4 TV are they not doing whole fucking segments about Blizzard? That's my question. How about you start with that? If you want to care about sexism and bad things going on in the industry, start doing episodes like that. I want to see a full G4 TV episode on Blizzard and the bullshit that they've caused. Why don't you do a whole episode on EA and how they fucked up loot boxes in the industry? Why don't you talk about real consumer problems that we face every day? Why don't you talk about real issues that are going on in the gaming industry? I do that every day. Why can't you? My God. It's not that difficult. Provide statistics, provide evidence to back up your claims. That is the one thing that I have a problem with. If you provide evidence, okay, that's great.
Rover donated $100 for the entire chat. We're not sorry.
Oh no. Thank you, Rover, for the $100 donation. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. We're not sorry, huh? Well, you all are. Your unconscious biases are now leveled up to conscious biases. Your sexism is off the charts. It's over 9,000. You're canceled. You're done. Thank you for the donation, though. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. When people go on social media and have... I'm going to call it a meltdown, because it comes across very meltdown to me. I want to see statistics. I want to see polls. I want to see evidence. I want to see tweets. I want to see what she's talking about. She said, if you look at this chat right now, there are tons of people in here. Show the screenshots then. Give us the screenshots and show us that that's happening. But she doesn't. They don't bring that up on screen because that wouldn't help their argument. Why aren't they talking about things that actually truly affect the gaming industry? And again, there are companies that have a lot of problems with sexism, unfair hiring practices, like Blizzard. I don't see them talking about Blizzard. I don't see them talking about NFTs. I don't see them talking about predatory monetization in games. I don't see them talking about things that actually affect the gaming industry. It's just, it's rough. Because it's like, I ultimately get what she's saying. It's like, look at my chat. Like an hour ago, we had someone coming in saying, if you show your toes on screen for 10 seconds, I'll give you $100. We had someone saying that earlier. The message is right here. I can see it with my own eyes. They were like, if you show your feet for 6 seconds, I'll donate you 100 buckaroonies. Do you see me making a big deal out of it? No, I banned them because that's the internet. You can fucking do that. If they piss you off and they are objectifying you and you feel uncomfortable, just block them and move on. It's breathe in, breathe out. It's just that simple. If someone pisses you off, you ignore them. So move on. Make a difference in the industry. What an insightful dono message. I know. It's great. For the entire chat, we're not sorry. That's how it goes, guys. That's how it goes. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to ask. I was gonna make a joke about the feet, but I don't want to get banned. See? That's all it takes. If you make a joke about the feet, you're gonna get banned. It's just that simple. In my mentions, honestly, $100, it does sound like a good deal. Starting an Only Toes soon. I mean, seriously, it's like if people online are bothering you, don't listen to them. Block them. Move on. Take screenshots. Keep them in a file if someone's bothering you, so you have evidence. But just show the evidence. It's all that it takes. I mean, she said in it that if you even look at the chat right now, the chat wherever they were streaming, it's filled with comments like that. Why not show it? If it's everywhere and that it's that prevalent, why don't you show it? Guys, I'm gonna become a reaction YouTuber. Starting to react to G4 TV over here. Holy shit. Don't strike me down. If G4 TV strikes me down, clearly they don't stand with women in the space. So we'll see. How many feet demands do you get in DMs daily? They come in waves. They come in waves. Like, you'll go a couple days without comments like that, and then for like 3-4 days, boom, 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 you'll get those comments and those requests, and then they quiet down again. It's like there's a calm and then there's the storm. There's a calm and a storm about toe pictures on the internet. Just Google toes. Just Google them, okay? Don't ask me. Amaranth bought a inflatable pool company, guys. Is my Twitch debut coming? I think it's almost time for that Twitch debut. Supporting Amaranth. Good for her. Good for you, honestly. I know that people joke about thoughts online, but like, people are paying. You might as well do it. Vera, they don't block people. They need the clout and progressive points. True. Just react to Avatar. Yeah, guys, let me just go to Google it. Google it. Avatar, The Last Airbender. Then I'll get articles written about me. You should ask for $500 for toes. Yeah, guys, $500. $500, guys. And I'll sell you... You know what? If someone donates $500 right now, I will sign my used magenta ink cartridge. I'll sign it and ship it to you. $500. How about that? Women's hands are more my thing. $500, guys. There you go. Drop a 50 bomb. I'll show my hands on screen for 3 seconds. I mean, what is up with people? Why are people so weird? But you don't... But this is the thing, is you don't see me sitting here getting all butthurt. Oh my god, someone asked for feet pictures. They're sexist. They're objectifying me. Most people have feet. Is it really that hurtful? To me, it's not. My goodness. Guys, I'm going to be wrapping up stream in a couple minutes. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in chat. Anything else I can react to? Maybe something that'll get me banned on YouTube so that Dexerto will write some articles on me and I'll get some clout. Honestly, I kind of feel this. I feel the same way about people like Amaranth. Like, if you want to sit in a bathtub and people want to watch that, go for it. My argument is that should it be on Twitch? No. I think that should be on a different website because I feel like Twitch shouldn't have that content. But I don't think that it shouldn't exist. NFT? Oh, guys! NFT? I'm going to take a picture of my hand, right? And I'm going to sell an NFT of it. That's a great idea. I don't know how you sell them. Bidding starts at 500, guys. A magenta. I have a cyan, whatever I have that one too. 126s. They're empty, ready to sign. I mean, you can't get super offended over everything on the internet. At the end of the day, the point about my rambling is that you can't get super offended. If people are bothering you, block them and move on. Make a statement, move on. But I think the timing's a little suspicious because a year ago, on January 18th, almost to the day, within a week, She made a statement about there being too much white in the gaming industry, and now she's going off on sexism and unconscious biases. It's just very suspicious timing. Did you guys hear? Oh no, I'm not talking about it. The girl who farts in jars? We're not talking about that. I'm done. We're done. I'm ending stream in a minute. NFT, no feet today. Wow, guys. How the chat has derailed so quickly. Guys, this chat has gone in a very weird direction very quickly. I don't know. Bidding starts at 3:55. The new Vera meme? Oh, please don't. Water, really? Yep, that's me. The waterbender. What can I say? I think there's a conspiracy against redheads. Witcher, by the way, guys, I was so surprised with that. I know I talked about it in other streams and videos, but they actually made Triss a ginger? A redhead? Oh my god. I was shocked. Season 1, they didn't, and Season 2, they changed it? I'm shocked. I'm truly surprised. Great job, though. Laurie? Good job for changing it. That was a plus. There's only so much I can praise them, right? There's only so much I can praise. Alright, guys, we're getting off the toe topic. Schedule for this week. Streaming schedule, guys. On Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, I will be streaming. On Thursday, and then probably Saturday, I'm going to be continuing and finishing Knights of the Old Republic, and then probably Sunday, I'll be done the game, so I'll probably play, like, do it like a filler stream of, like, Apex, or, like, some kind of filler game, because that was my original plan, and, then next week, Jesus Christ, I gotta change the donations, I'm done, I can't.
Christopher donated $10.
Oh no,
Just
here comes the toe joke.
toes. Ha ha ha.
Thank you, Christopher, for the $10 donation. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Next week, what was I saying? Stream schedule. Next week on Wednesday, I do think I'm going to be doing a supporter stream. So, if you want access to the supporter stream, join us on Patreon, YouTube memberships, all that fun stuff. You get access to a special channel in Discord. I will be doing a supporter stream next week, though. And, we gotta talk about games for next month. So right now, guys, I have no games pre-ordered. So, since no games are pre-ordered, and games are $70 each, that's a lot of fucking money. So we need to figure out what games I'm gonna stream. So, I believe at the top of the list is Elden Ring. I believe I'm gonna be streaming Elden Ring. I have to pre-order it still. And then, Horizon Forbidden West also comes out. I do believe I'm going to be streaming both of those. And then the month after... What else comes out? The month after... Final Fantasy comes out. Final Fantasy Origins. Stranger of Paradise, that also comes out. Do you guys want to see that as well? I believe so. I think that those are the games I'm kind of focused on streaming, but next month is Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West. Indie filler game? If there are any indie games that you guys want me to stream, for sure. You're almost finished already? Yes. KOTOR, I have probably 1 or 2 more streams of. We have Korriban and then Yavin to do, and then the end of the game. So that'll probably be 2 streams. You shouldn't be pre-ordering games to start with, in my opinion. The thing is with pre-ordering games, and I completely agree if I was a normal consumer, but I'm not. I'm streaming them, so I'm giving you guys a chance to see the game before you buy them. I kind of view it as while I am playing the games and I am pre-ordering them, even though it usually sucks. Games usually suck now. I'm kind of not just saving you guys money, but giving you a chance to judge it before you buy it. I do have an Amazon wishlist set up, guys, if you want to donate a game. And if you want to donate to a game, you can also message me on Discord, on Twitter. I will take donations for them in case anyone, because I know that you guys sometimes like to do that. If anyone wants to donate a copy of a game, feel free to message me or donate and just say, hey, I'd like the funds to go to this game or that game. I do think I want Elden Ring on PC. It is on my Steam wishlist, but I do think I want that. But it is also on the Amazon wishlist in case anyone wants to get it for PlayStation. And then Horizon and then Stranger of Paradise are on there. Those are kind of the games coming out next month. And then the month after... I believe there's one other game, but Elden Ring, I think at this point is definitely something I am going to stream. Pokemon Arceus, I don't have that pre-ordered either. I wasn't really interested in it. I mean, if you guys want to see that, let me know, and potentially I could do it. Risk of Rain 2, I've streamed that on the channel. I know that they just came out with new content, but I have not checked out the new content. Let's look at Steam real quick, guys. We're just like doing a chiller now. I mean, I've been streaming 2.5 hours, right? What else is coming out? New releases. Why not, right, guys? Is this boring? Probably. Ready or Not. Haha, I'm not. Internet Cafe Simulator. I want to play this shit. The first one was funny. I kind of want to play the second one. It just came out. I haven't bought it yet, but it is from more of like an indie developer. So I was thinking about doing Internet Cafe Simulator. Maybe on Sunday we'll do a variety stream. And maybe I can do Internet Cafe Simulator in, like, Apex or something. What else comes out soon, though? New releases. No, not... No, popular upcoming. No! Upcoming! I can't with Steam. I hate Steam so much. Yeah, Elden Ring. I definitely think that Elden Ring... I'm at this point, confident in saying I'm going to play Elden Ring and also Horizon Forbidden West. I do also want to play Final Fantasy, which is coming out the next month, but in February. It's like Elden Ring and Forbidden West. Elden Ring looks so good. I was also thinking before Elden Ring, doing not a full playthrough of Dark Souls, but doing maybe like 2 or 3 streams of Dark Souls. But Elden Ring is definitely a major one. It's on my wish list. I need to buy it. I should just fucking pre-order it. 6 weeks. Oh, Elden Ring looks so cool, though. Holy crap. I think that this game's gonna be epic. I am definitely streaming this day one. Definitely. I don't trust Pokemon. I definitely agree. I don't know much about Arceus. I really don't. Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't really know much about it. In-game purchases. Oh, fuck. Of course. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not supporting Ready or Not now. Maybe I would have. God of War. Do you guys want to see a God of War playthrough? Because the God of War Ragnarok will come out eventually one day, maybe in the future. But I've never streamed God of War on the channel. And I was thinking about streaming the PlayStation 4 one. It's coming out on PC as well in 2 days. Maybe that could be my next playthrough. I'd probably just play it on PlayStation 4, though. Gran Turismo 7? Yeah, when does that release? March. I don't have that. Guys, I have nothing pre-ordered right now. I'm going to keep it a stack. $70 though. Sheesh. That hurts. Guys, games are, man. Like, this is something, I know it's on PlayStation, right? But like, this is something like Forza that I play on a Game Pass, and I don't regret. $90. I don't know. Lots of games that I'm very skeptical about supporting. Like, on one hand, I want to support them and I want to play them, but at the same time, I know how it is. I know how games are. Is Elden Ring on Game Pass? No, Elden Ring is not going on Game Pass. Elden Ring is on Steam and, like, the PlayStation and Xbox storefronts. Yeah, no, they have not offered any comment about Elden Ring launching onto Game Pass. But it probably will be in, like, a year. Because that's usually how it goes. Open world Pokemon. The last Pokemon games were really, really mediocre, in my opinion. And I never streamed them because they were really mediocre. I mean, if you guys have interest, maybe. 90, yeah, $90. I think it's because it also has, like, the special currency, but Elden Ring, finally, George R.R. Martin finished writing something. I know. He is literally picking up any projects he can to avoid releasing Winds of Winter. I mean, he's doing graphic novels, he's doing games. I am really excited, though, about Elden Ring. I truly and genuinely hope the combat's amazing. I mean, it looks so fucking good. This shit looks... It looks poppin'. Rise, tarnished, and be guided by grace to brandish the power of the Elden Ring and become an Elden Lord in the lands between. If you don't think this is cool, you're a loser. Are you getting the deluxe Elden Ring or regular version? At this point, I just get the base version. Usually I get base versions of games unless someone donates towards, like, a deluxe edition. Unless it's a game I'm super excited about. Comes with the original soundtrack and digital art book. I mean, I usually like having those, but it's like $80. I don't know, guys. At this point, I'm just getting the base version. Does it come with anything, like any extra content? I don't see it saying that there's anything else. But this shit looks so cool. I'm really hoping that Elden Ring's gonna be awesome. Whoa, 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 that's almost nudity. I think that this game's gonna be great. Yeah, they have to make their money back here. They can't put it on Game Pass. I do agree. I think that eventually it will be on Game Pass. Probably in like a year it'll be on Game Pass, but at launch it's not gonna be. Yes, he wrote it. That also could be like a thing where it's like they say that he wrote it, but he really only wrote like a tiny little portion of it, or maybe gave them the base idea for it. Who knows? Maybe it's that situation. What else is coming out though? Honestly, guys, I feel like it's oh, Stalker 2. This is also a game I'm gonna stream, I think. Remember how they announced NFTs for it? And then after 24 hours, they said that they weren't doing NFTs because they got so much fucking backlash. I think because they removed the NFTs, they listened to consumers, and it looks like a pretty good game. I think I also am going to play Stalker 2. It looks really good. And it's Heart of Chernobyl. Guys, I'm not saying I have an obsession with Chernobyl, but whenever a movie or a show or documentary is about Chernobyl, I'm instantly drawn to it. I instantly want to consume whatever product it is. Chernobyl is so interesting to me. And I think that that setting's really cool. So I think I'm also going to play that. What else is releasing? Monster Hunter Rise? Tomorrow? No, I don't think so. God of War, I already talked about that. My Gender Bent Saga in Another World. Guys, sometimes translations don't work. This is the type of thing that needs to be retranslated. Steam! What are you... This is on Steam? Uh-oh. Steam. You allowed this game on here? Oh my gosh. Things are... You didn't see anything. Steam is looking up. Steam. Good for you, Steam. We're moving on. I'm gonna get banned. Seems pretty good to me. I don't know this game. Comes out in 2 days. Oh, looks pretty good to me. Alina of the Arena. Oh, no, I can't. No, no deck building tactic games. No deck building tactic game. Steam. Oh, no English support, though. Steam. Wow, they actually allowed this content on here. I'm fucking actually surprised. Okay. Guys, why are we sitting here looking at Steam? Ah! Okay. It's just a video game. It's fine. It's just a video game. It's fine. Just completely demonetized. No worries. No problems. Party animals. That seems wholesome. Guys, this seems wholesome. I'm just surprised to see so much content on Steam because, holy shit, they're constantly forcing developers to censor themselves. Constantly. This is my Steam recommended, guys. We're not... what can I say? I Google a lot of games and... Oh, it's Hollow Knight. When are they gonna release Silk Song? Hollow Knight is so good. Hollow Knight is so good. Why haven't they just released Silk Song? It's gotta be done. I love Cinder's optimism. Party Animals looks fun. We're just moving right along, guys. Dying Light 2. What was the problem with Dying Light 2? Didn't they censor or change? No. Didn't they, like, make some statement? I don't remember. But there was something about Dying Light 2 that I've talked about. What else is releasing? Yeah, those are kind of my games right now. Elden Ring. Stalker 2. I want to play Internet Cafe Simulator as well. Horizon Forbidden West. So, yeah. Are there any games coming out that you guys are excited for? Serious Sam? No, I would not support that. Serious Sam, they removed stuff and censored stuff, and we're acting just generally shitty. The developers. Jesus Christ! That's worse than the donation notification. What is this? That does not look amazing. Unusual situations emerging from them as a hero. Well, pay for effort, right? Oh yeah, 500 hours of gameplay, they said. I want to see the facts, because we heard that with, like, Cyberpunk. We literally thought that a year later, we'd be still playing Cyberpunk. And I was done that game in, like, 3 streams. No joke. I don't understand. They promise a lot, these developers do. That game looks sick. Oh my god. What is this? This shit looks awesome. Oh my god. Jeez. Severed Steel. I don't know, guys. Hopefully at the end of the day, these games don't turn out terribly. But that's kind of my plan right now, everyone. Is playing Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, and then I'm thinking Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise. If there are any other games that are releasing that you guys want to see, feel free to let me know. But yeah. The zombie one you did recently had the house/mansion? I don't know what game you're talking about. A recent game with zombies that I played. I can't think of anything. Live streams. Lately I've played Infinite. Yeah, I've played like Infinite, Katamari Damacy, Vanguard, Luigi's Mansion? Maybe? It's not zombies, it's ghosts. The Evil Within? I don't know. Security Breach. I have really no interest. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. Like, I've watched people play it. Like, obviously, I've watched your streams. And, like, I don't know. I just... Oh, Back 4 Blood. Back 4 Blood wasn't bad. But... I don't know. Security Breach, there's just not a lot of interest there for me. I'm hopeful for Elden Ring, but at the same time worried about the devs actually getting a complete game to the market. I agree. I hope that the game is complete, and it's really, really good. It's really solid. But ultimately, chat, only time will tell. Who knows what will happen with it. I hope it turns out really good. I hope it turns out positive. I hope it turns out very poggers. We'll see, though. But alright, I'm gonna wrap up stream here soon, guys. If you have any questions or topics for me to discuss, feel free to leave them in chat. We talked about all the topics I had. We talked about upcoming games as well. But yeah, I'm always open to suggestions. Also, in our Discord server, we do have a suggestions tab, in case any of you guys want to suggest games. But yeah. Back 4 Blood. Back 4 Blood was pretty fun. I played that on my birthday stream. I kind of did it with the variety. Back 4 Blood was pretty fun. The Evil Within was good. Evil Within is a very good game. I do agree. I had never played it, and I was really, really surprised with how great it actually was. Do a playthrough of Horny Wars, the game you clicked on before. No. You can show nudity. If you can show nudity, The Witcher would not be allowed. Are you doing another KOTOR stream? Yes. So on Thursday, guys, I will be continuing my KOTOR playthrough, and Saturday, I will be continuing my KOTOR playthrough. I think between Thursday and Saturday, we will finish the game. If not, I will play it also on Sunday, but I think that Thursday and Saturday, I'll be done KOTOR. And then on Sunday, we'll probably do some kind of, like, variety gameplay. So yeah. Thursday will be my next stream, and I'll be doing some Knights of the Old Republic. Let me check chat, though. Spelunky. I do not know what that is. It's an arcade game? Oh, I've seen this before. Isn't this from, like, the 360? I've never played it, but I have seen it before. PayPal. What about PayPal? There is PayPal in the description in case anyone wants to donate via PayPal directly towards any games or anything. I also enjoy the lore behind FNAF. Yeah, I never really got into the lore. I never really got into the series. I've played it. Not Security Breach, but I have played it before. That was good too, but it was called Back 4 Blood. Yeah, I don't know what game you're talking about, that I played, but I did play that. Spelunky 2 just came out, did it? Oh, I'm trying to Google it and I'm not typing. Oh yeah, it's September. Ooh. Oh, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty fucking sick. I'll have to check it out. Soundtrack bundle. Not too bad. Very positive. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'll leave it as a tab. I just want to try Pokemon. Never played one of those games, and Arceus might be my first. Yeah, Pokemon. I like Pokemon. I really, really do. Don't get me wrong. Oh, check PayPal. Okay, hold on, guys. The problem, guys, with Pokemon is that I liked the older games. I liked the first 3 generations of Pokemon, and then Pokemon started to get really dull for me. I really liked Fire Red, Leaf Green, the GBA games. I really, really liked Diamond and Pearl. I really liked Crystal and Emerald. And with the newer games, like Sword and Shield, they didn't look great. Like, the quality was really terrible. I don't know. It just overall wasn't that awesome. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Trent, for the $80 donation for the Elden Ring Deluxe Edition. Thank you so much for it. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. I will definitely be buying the Deluxe Edition for sure. Thank you so much for the dono. And I'll make sure to credit you when I stream it. Thank you, thank you. Awesome. I'll have to pre-order that. Guys, me and pre-ordering, it just doesn't happen. Call of Duty, like, listen. Every year I buy Call of Duty. It is a series a little bit simp for. I always pre-order it like an hour before it releases. I'm not gonna do it this time. Maybe. Hopefully. But thank you for the donation. Much appreciated. My last Pokemon game was Crystal. Some of the Pokemon games are really good. I'm gonna be honest. Like, Arceus, it doesn't look terrible. I'm very hesitant to buy a $60 game that might be trash. Because Pokemon over the past few years has been pretty bad. And I don't want to risk it. No problem. Well, I do appreciate it. Thank you. What anime do you recommend? Heavily invested in Attack on Titan. 7 Deadly Sins. It's a Netflix series. I do genuinely believe that they tried to do good with that series and it was good. 7 Deadly Sins, in my opinion, is one of my favorite anime. I thought that it was really fucking good. Akame ga Kill, if you haven't seen that. I'm more into anime where it's like a large group of characters. Like Akame ga Kill, there's like 7 main characters. 7 Deadly Sins, there's like 10 main characters. What else? I'm just trying to think of like other anime that I've finished recently. If you haven't like seen Castlevania, Castlevania is not bad. What else is released? I like Soul Eater. I don't know if you guys like Soul Eater. It's one that's very hit or miss. I feel like there's a lot of controversy. What else can I think of? I don't know. Off the top of my head. I mean, I'm sure that you've seen all the anime like Cowboy Bebop and Neon Genesis Evangelion and Hunter x Hunter. I'm sure that you've probably seen all those. Death Note. Really great games. Diamond and Pearl are pretty legit remakes. I didn't buy either of those remakes. Didn't those just come out recently? When did they come out? Release date. Yeah, November. I didn't buy either. I want to see Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan's good. Ghost in the Shell, awesome as well, yep. Yamato, amazing. It just depends on what's... You haven't. I would definitely recommend watching the original Cowboy Bebop. It's personally one of my favorite anime. I would definitely recommend Neon Evangelion, another one of my favorites. And then 7 Deadly Sins, Akame ga Kill, Ghost in the Shell. All really good series. Arcane, guys, Arcane is not bad. But it's also, I feel like, a little bit overrated. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I feel like it's kind of overrated. The only anime I've watched in the past year was How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. I have no... I'm gonna keep it 100%. I have no clue what that is. Guys, some of the translated names for anime, they're just not it. How to pick up a girl in a dungeon. A little bit weird. How heavy are the dumbbells you lift? I gotta look it up. Oh my... Jesus. These pictures. Japanese manga series. Her love for food is starting to affect her size. In an effort to slim down, she starts lifting weights at her local gym. It sounds pretty funny. Parasite, also good. Definitely something that I'd recommend. But yeah, I like Pokemon. I just feel like very hit, very miss. New Pokemon game. If you guys really want to see it, maybe. Just maybe. I'll consider it. But alright guys, I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Thank you guys for the donations, the support. Of course, I'll have new videos up tomorrow. My next stream will be on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be doing some more Knights of the Old Republic. And yeah, join our Discord server if you're not part of it already. We're very active there. I do tag you all when I go live in case YouTube doesn't notify you of the live streams. Check out the links in the description. Lots and lots and lots of ways to follow my content, support Twitter, Minds, Getter. I have a backup Twitch channel in case you want to follow that as well. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Join our Discord, all that fun stuff. Arcane is definitely overrated. I agree. I think it's good, but I think it's a little overrated. But yeah, next stream will be on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for the donations, for the support. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic evening, everyone.